Come here, son, nephew, young man. Let me holler at you. They say art imitates life. And I noticed that the music today has very little substance, in addition to the fact that you can barely understand what the musicians are saying. With that being said, to me, there's no surprise that people's communication skills, in specific, their ability to speak, is lacking with the current generation. You need 4 things required to be an effective speaker. Number 1, credibility. It sure helps when you know what you're talking about, especially if you can prove it. However, we live in a generation now where fake is real and real is fake. So if you can make people think that you have credibility, well, you know what? I do suppose that that counts for something in modern day society. 2, confidence. People can tell when you know what you're talking about and you can back up your words. I don't think I need to say much more about that. 3, charisma. Now, when people can tell that you're passionate about a subject, they're most likely to believe you, but at least some type of animation is required. In other videos, I talk about being well rested, having an even mood, and so forth and so on. But at the end of the day, if you're speaking in a manner that shows that you want your point to get across, it's more likely to get across. Now, don't be too aggressive, but showing that you actually have thought out the subject matter, showing that you have some type of interest in the subject matter, and showing that you actually have interest in a person understanding the subject matter goes a long way. And the last thing, you have to know how to connect with your audience. Now, sometimes that can take giving examples. So I'll give you an example right now. If you're speaking to a crowd of people and you see that they're yawning or that they're preoccupied doing something else, well, you need to do something to get their attention. So calling on someone in the audience, making an example, calling someone by their name, maybe asking someone a question that you know they're able to answer, are ways of connecting with the audience so you can get a better response. Study communication skills. Study the art of speaking. It can take you so far. And understand this about communication. Here's what communication is. You have a sender, you have a receiver. Whatever the sender is sending, in this case, we're talking about a verbal message, but it could be a written message. It could even be a subliminal message or even body language. You have a sender, then a receiver. That's the person who's meant to receive the message. Everything in between that is what you call interference. That can be other people talking, music, a person who doesn't want to listen. That's a barrier in itself. A good communicator can overcome those barriers to make sure that their message gets through. I'll talk about that more in the art of communication in other videos. And as always, never lose the will to win and never lose the will to survive.